of course, context is important, and I started out with childhood eczema. So I asked my mom, do you have any pictures of when I was a child and when I had eczema so I can show people? And she's like, I tried. I don't know. We can't find any. Because she's like, you take pictures of your eczema now, very close up. But back then, we're not going to take pictures of your eczema. That's so cruel, So we weren't able to find any pictures where it's really showing where my eczema was, or eczema. I really don't know how to call it. But I did have it in the typical areas, like my inner elbows, my hands, behind my legs, and this was often treated with cortisone creams, corticosteroids, so Elicon was something that was very common, and iodine dips too. I remember doing that so vividly. In high school, it started appearing on my face, so that's when I got really self-conscious and went to my dermatologist and was prescribed Protopic. So this is sort of where it all started. I really want to talk about topical steroid withdrawal. That has been a challenge for me for the past 5 years, and I suspect I was in withdrawal closer to 10 years when I first got off Protopic. But Protopic is an immunosuppressant. It is a topical, so you just apply it similar to a cream, and it was very popular. And I don't know if it's still popular now, but it was very popular as a non-steroid alternative. So this was around 2010 when I started on Protopic. So this was 2010, 2011. I used Protopic for over a year, and I decided to stop because I had a gut feeling that it was really suppressing my eczema. I noticed that, I would apply it one day, and then 2 days later I have to apply it again, and the redness would appear in different parts of my body. And I didn't have a very confident feeling about it. It made me feel like if I have to do this all the time, it doesn't seem right. And so I stopped using Protopic after 1 year, and I would often get bad flare-ups when the weather got colder, which is why I probably have some phobia against winter. But these pictures were 2010 and 2011, a few months apart, and you can see, my upper lip and my eyes have always been a problem area, and that's acupuncture needles as an alternative to try to relieve some of the inflammation. So my journey started a while ago, but really the good part, and that's sarcasm, sorry, not good, but this is 2015. So I went on a trip, it was great, but unfortunately I came back with a staph infection and eczema herpeticum. So I was prescribed 3 courses of antibiotics, which is a lot, and also antivirals. And I also applied Fusidin H, which is a topical antibiotic, and combined with hydrocortisone. So after stopping this cream and settling the infection is when I really started my TSW journey, because this is when I absolutely did not touch cortisone creams for since 2015. So in the past, between 2010 and 2015, I did use cortisone creams. So you'll see that, my arm and my body, these little dots are quite common when it comes to staph infections, and also eczema herpeticum, which actually I think was a complication after staph infection.
Well, Michelle, did you have to do a skin culture to differentiate between a staph infection and TSW?
So yes, for the culture, I did do it for the staph infection, but actually I don't think I did. I think they just prescribed antibiotics. And eczema herpeticum is not very well known among like general practitioners, like GPs, the doctors, if you just go to your family doctor. So I actually think I was having eczema herpeticum longer than a few days, because they kept prescribing the antibiotic and it wasn't going away. It was actually eczema herpeticum. So it wasn't until I saw a 4th doctor, like a dermatologist, who noticed the pustules are different. They're almost like dipped, and he shined a light against my skin and then diagnosed me with eczema herpeticum. So that was actually more difficult to diagnose because it's less common, and it often looks like impetigo because it's like it'll crust over like impetigo. So often if you're in the TSW support groups on Facebook, people are very aware of eczema herpeticum because it's so often misdiagnosed, and it's also very dangerous. So if you get it in your eye or near your eye or get it in your blood, it can be very, very dangerous. So
So did the infection come on because you had broken skin when you were on holiday and then you caught some form of infection from there?
I think so, probably, yeah.
And what prompted you to stop taking TSW? What did you hear about TSW that made you want to stop? You know, because we read and we have many customers who feel that, wow, you know, this cortical steroid creams, the Elomet that they typically get, and then it's like a magic cream. You know, you put it on, and then after a week or two, the eczema just disappears. So seems like there is a lot of benefits, but what made you want to stop?
It was really a gut feeling. Like it didn't sit right with me that I would have to use a cream forever and that it wasn't getting better. So, you know, sometimes lifestyle changes can have effects on your skin that last more than 2 days, right? So to me, it didn't sit well with me that A, I was applying these creams, and B, it was getting worse. So that's when I didn't actually hear about TSW until 1 year after I stopped taking, after I stopped hydrocortisone in 2015. So I hadn't even heard of TSW, but I just knew that something wasn't right. And that's also why I stopped Protopic. I didn't know about any withdrawal symptoms in 2010 either, but I had the same feeling that, you know, I can't live like this for the rest of my life, really. Yeah. And I actually hear that a lot from other people who went through TSW. It's very much like a gut feeling, like I'm just covering this up and it's showing somewhere else and it's getting worse. And the doctors just keep prescribing more and more creams to me at higher classes. So, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, after 2015 came 2016, and I wish I took more photos in the beginning, but, you know, I didn't know what it was, and I was very scared and sad. So I didn't take many photos, but you can see here one of the telltale signs of topical steroid withdrawal is the red sleeves, is what they call it. So my skin tone is darker, but you can, and the lighting isn't great, but you can see that, you know, there's redness here. It's darker, right? And it ends around my wrist here. This is almost like a normal color palm. And this is a very telltale sign of topical steroid withdrawal. If you have paler skin, it will become more evident. If you have darker skin, it won't be red, it'll be more darker brown. So it almost looks more pigmented. So with different colors of skin, it manifests differently as well. So this is actually my only picture that I have of my red sleeves. But I remember this being very odd, and it was uncomfortable, and yeah, so this is my red sleeves, and this was in 2016. So this year was 1 year after I started TSW and when I found ITSAN. So ITSAN is the advocacy group, the international advocacy group for TSW. So if you have any questions about it, the website has lots of different resources.